What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Talking Sports podcast right here on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. Already, Jared's jumping the gun. Yes, we are going to be talking about the Eastern Conference. We're going to be talking about the Western Conference. We're going to be talking about the NBA Finals. So that means, obviously, you can tell by the title of the episode of the video, NBA Playoffs Preview. You guys are going to be watching this basically as soon as the NBA playoffs start. If you love our NBA content, you guys won't get another episode until the NBA Finals. But right around in the next couple of days, we'll be dropping an NFL draft video. So don't go anywhere. If you watch this, go watch a couple of days later with the NFL draft. But before we do that, Jared, who are we sponsored by and where can everyone follow us on social media?
Yeah, guys, we are on social media at Talking Sports PD on X, Instagram, and TikTok. So please give us a follow. We're going to be posting a lot of content in the next couple of weeks, like Pete said. A lot of stuff coming up. So follow us, keep up to date at Talking Sports PD. And then, NBA playoffs is starting. It's a great time to start doing underdog fantasy and use promo code TSP and get 100% match deposit on your first bet. NBA playoffs, a lot of different bets you could make there. Make every night interesting. Underdog fantasy, and they do a lot of promotions, like a free pick. So use promo code TSP, make a lot of money, and get a matched 100% deposit.
Yeah, it's the perfect time to get on Underdog Fantasy, and it is also the perfect time to just subscribe to the YouTube channel. Drop a like, drop a comment. Who you guys got winning? What matchups? What upsets? What favorites are getting bounced early? All that fun stuff. So how we're going to do today's episode, if you're on social media, if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we'll lay it out for you a little easier. Obviously, if you're watching visual, you can see what we're talking about by the banner. So we're going to talk about the Eastern Conference. Jared and I are going to go run through our predictions, and then we're going to talk about it. We're going to go to the Western Conference. We're going to run through our predictions, break it down, and then we'll give you our NBA Finals prediction. So, Jared, Eastern Conference, there's going to be a lot of talking for the next 30 seconds to a minute for you here, but what do we got in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, so I'll start 1 through 8. One seed and the 8 seed. So I got the Celtics versus the Heat.
You got Celtics versus the Heat. Is that what you're predicting?
I'm starting with the game. Celtics Heat, and I got Celtics in 6. Jimmy Butler's missing, so Celtics are a proven team. Celtics in 6. Cavs versus Magic. Now, who would have thought the Magic would be in this situation? But I'm going Cavs in 5. You would have thought?
No, not idea, but I was trying to take credit.
Then Bucks, Pacers. Bucks without Giannis. Very interesting. Pacers been very underrated team, I think, this year. Pacers in 7. I think, yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks, 76ers. Another game 7. I'm going Knicks. So Knicks in 7. So I got Celtics in 6, Cavs in 4, Pacers in 7, and Knicks in 7.
What else you got? Conference semis.
Oh, we're just running it down.
Just run through it. We'll do both, and then we'll talk about it.
Celtics, Cavs, Celtics in 7. Pacers, Knicks, and then Knicks in 7. So 2 game 7s in the semis. And then Knicks, Celtics.
Great matchup.
Yeah, it would be awesome. Celtics in 6.
Awesome. Okay. Comment down below what you guys think. As always, I'm going to run through mine, and then we're going to break it down if you guys don't understand the concept of what we're doing here. Eastern Conference for me. So I got Celtics. I got Celtics in 5. Like you said, no Jimmy Butler. That's kind of detrimental. Cavs, Magic. Cavs in 6. I think it'd be interesting.
They're gonna pull a Magic card.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting, fun series. Kind of like, I feel like it's almost a coin toss at this point. Then Bucks, Pacers. You mentioned the Giannis injury. When does he come back? I still think the Bucks kind of prevail. Bucks in 7. I think the Giannis maybe injury pushes that game a couple games farther than it could be. And the Pacers are a very sneaky, solid team. Sixers, Knicks. I got Sixers in 7. So that's my, I guess I would say, quote unquote, round one.
So we both agree with 2 Game 7s for first round.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
In
exciting.
series.
Exciting time. So I got Sixers in 7. And then in the conference semis, Celtics over the Cavs, Celtics in 6. And then Bucks, Sixers, Bucks over the Sixers in 6. And then in the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm going to agree with you with the team that's making it out. We have different matchups, but I have Celtics over the Bucks in 6 games. Okay, Jay, let's talk Sixers Knicks right now. The 2-7 matchup. I think it's a very interesting matchup. You don't always see a 2-7 matchup this, I guess, highly contested, especially in the conference over the last 5 to 10 years. I'm going Sixers. You're going Knicks. We both had it in 7.
Mm-hmm.
So we both have them. This series taking a little longer than maybe some people want, especially Knicks fans. So why do you see the Knicks prevailing in 7 games?
I just feel like the Knicks are just been more consistent, and I feel like the play style that the series is going to manifest fits right into the Knicks. I think it's going to be very gritty. I think it's going to be evenly matched and close throughout the series. That's why we both think it's probably going 7.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think the Knicks have been playing. They don't have to change their game at all. They've been playing this kind of ball the whole year. They made the 2 seed with it. Jalen Brunson has stepped leaps and bounds this year. MVP candidate, great leader for that team. And then just role players on that team also stepping up, like Dante DiVincenzo. Who would have thought this year that he can't be 6th man or most improved player this year because of the number of minutes I think he's played, but he's been incredible this year.
Mm-hmm.
Julius Randle, it's gonna suck, but I mean they've been playing great without him, down the stretch. And then Sixers, something about that team, they look so organized one night and then they just look so unorganized the other night. I mean, yeah, Tyreek's Maxey's gonna be really tough, and then now the healthy Joel Embiid. It's going to be an interesting series. I think I'll give the edge to the Knicks mostly because of the defense. Defensively, I think they could limit Maxey. The Sixers are going to need other people to step up, and I just don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. Look, it's a very interesting series, excuse me, and it's one of those series where like the Knicks going into last year's playoffs, right? They were, I would say, maybe the quote unquote underdogs, or it was more of a coin toss against Cleveland, right? Not as much pressure. They prevailed, and then they lose to Miami in the conference semis, right? They lost to Miami in the conference semis. Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. So you're one of those after Miami upset Milwaukee. So last year you came in with a little less pressure. This year, expectations are high, right? You're the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. You're coming in. If you don't probably get to the conference finals, it might be a disappointment. I guess if you lose to like Milwaukee or something in the conference semis, you can swallow it. If you lose in the first round, it's a major disappointment. And everything you went through and everything we were told this season about how good the Knicks were basically means nothing, right? So are they ready for that moment? And it also depends on the health of Joel Embiid, right? Like if he is fully healthy, which I don't know if he's going to be, but if he can get to maybe 90% of the level that he can play at, he's the best player in this series, even though Jalen Brunson's had an incredible season. Joel Embiid is an MVP, former MVP. Like Joel Embiid's a step above
35 points per game this year.
Yeah. Yes. Like I like Jalen Brunson. I like the Knicks, and I like what they built. But I think it's more of, are they ready for this moment? Right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on this team. And if they don't deliver, it's a huge failure. And it's a tough 2-7 matchup. If you have Embiid, you have Maxey. The Sixers don't. It's not. I think for me, it's more of the Knicks than the Sixers, if that makes sense, right? Like it's more of, maybe I don't fully buy the Knicks, or I don't think they're fully ready for the moment. Less of, I think the Sixers are such a good team, because I don't think they're a great team, and that's why I have them losing in the next round. I just think the Knicks aren't ready for this moment, and I think we might see a little bit of kind of jitters. We might see a little stale on offense, just game 1 today, you guys will be watching this afternoon. Sixers come out throwing punches, throwing haymakers early. Can the Knicks kind of, not literally, but can they respond in a matter where I don't know if they like the pressure was on them last year, but we'll see. And that's kind of why I have Sixers in 7.
See, but we could also flip that the other way. I mean,
100%.
Sixers, haven't done anything in the playoffs.
Well, that's why we have the series going 7 games.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why we have it going 7.
And I see what you're saying. There's a lot of I could say there's a lot of pressure on the Knicks. I wouldn't say a lot of pressure, but you said, let's just look at the Sixers. You got a young Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a proven playoff performer.
That's true.
Then you got Tobias Harris, who's not a proven playoff. The only one on their team that's proven is Joel Embiid.
Is there only one really player in this series that's a proven legit NBA playoff player?
Jalen Brunson.
You would get, last year you would say that counts as
I would say.
I feel like you can do that for Maxey as well. Then we're gonna give Jalen Brunson that little.
The Mavs when he was on the Mavs.
I forgot he was on the Mavs.
They went to the
you're right.
Final.
Okay, that's fair. That's my bad. I forgot he was on the Mavs.
Yeah. So I mean, other than that, at least after Maxey, I mean, you could say the same thing for the Knicks, but it's Kelly Oubre. I'm not going to trust in the playoffs. Tobias Harris, he could give you a couple good games, but he's not consistent enough. So it is a lot of wild cards on each team.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in your favor of your pick with the 76ers, I mean, who's going to guard Joel Embiid? I mean, is Hartenstein
or Mitchell Robinson?
Isn't Mitchell Robinson?
I think he came back.
He came back.
Yeah. No, look, I agree. Is Embiid healthy though?
No, he's not. He's never going to be fully healthy.
Okay, so that's a factor. And look, I could be talking myself out of the six. I think it's that's why we both kind of see it as a 7-game series here that could go. If you think the series is going 7, you think the series can go either way. That's how
I think every game could go either way. I think there's going to be no blowouts. I don't think.
Fair enough.
I mean, win more than 10 points, I believe.
The game 1's important this afternoon or this evening. Sixers come out and they win game 1.
Set the tone.
Yeah, if they win game 1 in New York, I think New York might be a little shell-shocked, right? A little like, oh my God. Like, it's early, but we just lost a game at home. We're down 1-0, and how do we respond?
They got the best player on the court.
Yes, exactly. If Embiid shows that he's fully healthy and has a great performance today and they win, I'm just saying, waking up Sunday morning, Knicks fans are going to be a little uneasy. Okay, let's move on here.
Knicks, they overreact about everything.
It's New York market, man. We're used to it. Just watch every Yankee game like that. And okay, so Bucks, Pacers. You have Pacers prevailing in 7. I have I have Bucks prevailing in 7. And I have the Bucks actually going to the conference finals. You have the Bucks obviously getting bounced, and the Pacers getting bounced in the second. So where are we seeing? What are you seeing in that series that maybe leads to the Bucks with an early exit? And
I mean, for me, it's majority that Giannis probably is going to miss the first 2 games, maybe more. And like, even if Bucks are fully healthy, I still think Pacers give them a run for their money. I don't think they would win, but I think they give them a run for their money. It's more so we've seen the Bucks up and down throughout the year. They got Dame Lillard for basically not this reason specifically, but a reason like this where it's mostly the pair up with Giannis. But if Giannis can't play or is on the bench, we need a guy to step up. And I just don't think he's developed enough with this team that he's the guy to do it. I think on the other side, you got to give the Pacers credit. Halliburton's been playing phenomenal. They have Miles Turner, big down low presence, shot blocker, give Giannis trouble when he does come back. And then the pickup of Pascal Siakam. I mean, I think that was a great pickup. He's kind of like he's a scorer, but he's kind of a do everything defensively, rebounding, could pass the ball, averaging 22. So they got their kind of like, their 2 prime scorers, Pascal, Halliburton. And then they're just I'd say they're pretty deep on, the bench, Mathurin, Miles Turner, Naismith, Bruce Brown, Buddy Hield left. I think Bruce Brown might have left actually. But I think this is overall just kind of reminds me of like Thunder in an aspect where it's like they don't have like the star. I mean Halliburton, but they play as a team, and I love how they play. So this is a scary team when you're missing your best player going into a series with a player. Your best player now is a guy who wasn't on your team last
Mhm,
year.
mhm.
It's tough. And
Yeah,
I might have been mistaken. Like Pacers in 7, I feel like if it does go to 7, maybe that gives the Bucks the edge. That means Giannis is probably playing most of the games. So maybe they might have to win it in 5 or 6 if they want to win. But
mhm.
I thought it was just gonna be a good series.
So where I see this, right? Like I think Giannis comes back either game 3 or game 4, right? And look, if he never comes back and it's just maybe injuries more than we expected, then my pick is gone, right? Like that's just
So
how
you
that.
think like even 4, you still have them winning?
Yeah, because I think the Bucks can tread water enough
Yeah,
where they don't, and that's why I have it 7. Because when you tread water, it's. I don't think the
prolonged
Bucks.
series.
Yeah, they could be down 2-1. I think, or like if I think Damian Lillard's good enough to buy you a game or two. I really do, and we've seen his best performances come in the playoffs. You still have Chris Middleton. You have proven guys that were on that championship team, and this is a little bit of an inexperienced playoff team when it comes to Indiana, right? And
Yeah.
I think you have to factor that in. I like Indiana. I think they're a very good team. I think they're a sneaky good team. I think Tyrese Halliburton, one of my favorite players coming out of the draft the year, when he was coming out of the draft, and of course my Chicago Bulls didn't select him, and a lot of teams didn't select him. He fell into the teens of the NBA draft and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think the Pacers have that playoff experience because they don't, right? And I think that does factor into where where they can go. And I do think Damian Lillard can buy you a game or two, right? I really.
Pascal has the finals.
That's true. I forgot Pascal Siakam kind of
Yeah.
existed. That is true. Pascal Siakam, that was a very sneaky ad at the deadline. So I do think I don't know if I fully buy Indiana more or less. I think this Eastern Conference is an absolute crapshoot of teams that are dealing with injuries, teams that I don't fully buy, teams with inexperience in the playoffs, and then you have Boston just chilling at first. So you've kind of that caveat there. I do think this series goes to 7, right? And I do think if it goes to 7, I like the Bucks' chances, like you almost alluded to, kind of at the end of your breakdown, where like, oh, maybe if it gets to 7, Giannis is playing in a game 7. Do I want to bet against Giannis in Milwaukee? And I would probably say no, in my opinion. So I do think they can tread water. Excuse me, and I do think they can kind of prolong this series. But if it takes Giannis to game 4 or game 5, then you're getting a little dicey, right? Depending on where the series is at. So obviously it all kind of hinders on Giannis's health. If he comes back fully healthy in game 3, I think the Bucks win the series. If he comes back game 4, game 5, it gets very, very tricky in my opinion.
I want to allude to something you did say. You believe Dame could buy you a game or two because of his talent and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say I agree. However, I feel like that was on the Trailblazers. On this team is built around Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they added him, but they added him as a piece to build around Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
So you take that, king of the puzzle, like out. I just made up that phrase, out of the picture. I feel like it's just a team that you're relying on. The best player on your floor is kind of just not saying he's going to score.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at the other pieces. Chris Middleton hasn't been playing great this year, 27 minutes a game. Hasn't really got a lot of burn. And then it just drops. Brook Lopez, he's consistently great playoff performer. It's just like, can the Bobby Portises of the world step up and get 15 points, 20 points?
Well,
After that, it's kind of pulling teeth.
Look, you got to adapt, right? Like you're going to have to change your philosophy the first couple games. And some teams are stubborn and that could bite them in the ass, right? Like if they don't change their philosophy, this has to be centered around Damian Lillard, right? Like these couple games. I also
think the most important piece is probably Chris Middleton this series.
Yeah, Chris Middleton needs to have, when they went to the finals and when they won the finals, that type of.
He needs to relieve pressure scoring.
He needs to become the number 2 that he was when they won the championship.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes, and not the 3 or 4, which he's been for most of
this year.
And he doesn't need to do it for 7 games.
No,
more or less. Like if Giannis comes back game 3, game 4, like if he comes back game 3 and the Bucks split the first 2 games, I like the Bucks' chances. in this series. That's just where I kind of sit at. So I don't think you just need to buy a game, in my opinion. And if you can buy a game, I like the Bucks' chances. So that's where I kind of sit.
That's fair.
Anything else you want to talk about before we talk about our conference finals matchups?
No,
Cavs Magic is a cool series.
Yeah.
I think both teams, whoever they are losing, are just getting.
I think just the Cavs. I mean, the Magic inexperience. Cavs have experience. Cavs are deeper.
I'm with you on the Cavs.
It's a great season for the Magic. Learn a little bit. Learn from this. But
playing with house money here.
Donovan Mitchell also.
You're playing with house money, Magic
exactly.
here. I think. Yeah, and then I do think the teams, whoever wins that, setting up a tough matchup with Boston. Yeah. And I don't love either of those two teams against Boston, really. Even though I do have.
I think the Celtics Heat can surprisingly give the Celtics a little bit of pressure. I don't think they'll pull it off, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Heat, push back a little bit, even without Jimmy Butler.
I think for that, I think the Heat, a lot of those games are going to be closer than maybe people expect.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Heat are just not going to have that firepower down the stretch in those games to overtake Boston, right? I don't know if Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo can make enough shots down the stretch to go toe-to-toe with Boston when it matters. And I think if you had Jimmy in the series, if I was Boston, I'd be really scared because the Heat are a dangerous team in the playoffs. We saw last year.
Yeah, that would be.
We saw last year with Jimmy. Without Jimmy, it's unfortunate. So I don't think the Heat have another run in them, but they'll be in the game. They're really well coached. They win the coaching matchup in that series. You don't always see that in the 1-8 matchup. So you got that going for you.
And hey, if Caleb Martin has a little flair that he did that.
Yeah, the Heat are known for random guys. Yeah, no offense to Caleb Martin and calling him a random guy.
Yeah.
But that's what the Heat are known for, right? They're known for guys stepping up that are not quote unquote household names. Yeah, like you alluded to, Caleb Martin down the stretch that helped them get to the NBA Finals. Yeah. Okay, so your conference finals was Celtics over Knicks. I was Celtics over Bucks. Dude, why the Celtics, man? Does anybody have a legit shot of taking down this Boston?
You mean in the whole? Oh, because we're going
Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
because you have Celtics over Knicks, I have Celtics over Bucks. Does anybody have a legit shot?
I believe so. I think.
Okay.
I'd say Bucks
fully healthy.
Yeah, Bucks healthy. I hate Knicks have a shot. I wouldn't say it's a legit shot. I think Knicks have a shot.
Is Knicks getting to the conference finals more based on their matchups, and they get the Pacers in round 2 because you have for you?
Yeah, I would say that helps a lot.
Okay.
I do think if the Bucks made it, I wouldn't put the Knicks there.
Okay. So with a fully healthy Giannis, which we expect if they make it, Giannis be fully healthy.
Yeah.
So the Celtics are interesting. The
Celtics have the perfect bracket though.
Their bench is brutal.
Even if the Pacers got thrown up in that
first
2 games.
I like the Celtics. I agree. Celtics' path to the Eastern Conference Finals isn't hard.
No.
Outside, they get Miami without Jimmy. Then they get either Cleveland or Orlando.
Yeah, I do think the Cavs.
I think they can give them a little bit of a run for their money.
It's a young team but does have playoff experience.
Yes, but I don't if you were. They're not seeing Giannis in round 2. I think if they're seeing Giannis in conference semis, that's a little bit different matchup, right? I don't know if.
Let me just ask: if they saw, let's say, Anthony Edwards in round 2, what would you say to that? I have a point here.
They saw Anthony Edwards with that. So basically, the T-Wolves or just Anthony Edwards?
Just Anthony Edwards.
With who?
With a team, let's say the T-Wolves.
I like Boston in that series,
but it's a legit shot, right? T-Wolves. I don't think Donovan Mitchell's very comparable to Anthony Edwards. That's my point. So people I don't know, they don't talk about Donovan Mitchell.
Is Boston sweating the series against Cleveland? In that series, are they going to sweat that series where you and I think at some point they're going to lose that series? At any point during those 4 to 5 to 6,
punching you in the mouth early.
Okay.
So that's why I had that game going to that series going to 7 games.
I had it 6. I have it 6. So I don't have it like ending in 5. I think ending in 5 is a cakewalk. I think 6 makes it a little bit more competitive.
Yeah. How would you feel? Because you have Celtics Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
If the Celtics play the Knicks, what's your reaction to that?
Celtics in 6 probably. I think it's a cool
That's
rivalry. I think this Knicks can give them a run for. I don't think the Celtics are going to be like 4-5, 4-5. I don't think like they're doing that. I just don't know if they're gonna sweat a playoff series.
Yeah,
and that's like make them a little bit back to their wall. Like I think Cleveland has the personnel to give them a little bit of run for their money, and I definitely think Milwaukee does fully healthy, and I do think the Knicks can do it. I just don't know over 7 games. 7 games is a long series. Like it's long. The better
team usually wins.
Usually does end up winning.
Not all the time. But.
Okay.
Wait. What last thing?
Yeah.
You have Celtics Bucks. Why Celtics in that?
Why I think I don't trust Doc Rivers to get to a point.
Going straight to the coach. Damn.
NBA Finals. I don't fully trust Doc, and I don't know if I like the Bucks path a little bit more if they're fully healthy with Giannis coming back, right? Like I like them over Indiana, and I like them over. I have over Philly. I have Philly upsetting, so I like them over Philly. I just don't know if Philly can fully go toe to toe with Milwaukee in a series, but I do think the lack of Chris Middleton scoring might show up against Boston, and Boston has Drew Holiday, who's been kind of like that caveat. And remember when Milwaukee went to the finals and won, they had Drew Holiday. So I kind of think that like Drew Holiday kind of takes them over the edge that I don't know if Milwaukee really has at the moment, right? Like Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, Holiday, I think is better than what Milwaukee would throw at you, in my opinion.
Okay.
Just because I think Drew Holiday's impact is kind of understated. And I think we've seen this year with Milwaukee. The Drew Holiday impact it hurts. It really does.
No, that makes sense. I think like if the Celtics' biggest like when they would sweat is when they see Milwaukee on there.
I agree.
That's like the only way I wouldn't really pick the Celtics.
I think a fully healthy Philly team could, because it's Embiid, but I don't know if they're fully healthy, and I don't know if they're deep enough, and I don't know if Embiid can do enough, and I don't think Embiid's ever going to be fully enough healthy this postseason.
Nah, he won't.
So I think that's and they don't have the bench, and they don't have the depth to kind of overstand a conference finals run. Okay, we both have Celtics making it into the Eastern Conference Finals. JR, it is time for the Western Conference playoffs. So we both have Celtics coming out of the East. Who are they matching up with? But let's go. First round conference semis, conference finals.
Yeah, so first game, Thunder, Pelicans. Got Thunder in 6. Clippers, Mavs. This is going to game 7. Clippers in 7. Suns, T-Wolves. Got an upset here. I'm going Suns in 6.
Mm-hmm.
Nuggets, Lakers. Nuggets in 5.
You're not done, dude.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting. Thunder, Clippers. I'm going Clippers in 6. Suns, Nuggets. Nuggets in 6. Clippers, Nuggets. Clippers in 7. Clippers make it out of the West.
So you have a Celtics Clippers matchup, a little C versus C there.
Yeah.
Western Conference for me, Thunder, Pelicans, the 1 versus 8. I got the Thunder in 6, the Zion up and down, and I like the Thunder. I think the Thunder overslept on. Or
overslept on? Slept on. Just
slept on. I don't know. Overslept. Mavericks, Clippers. I got Mavericks in 7. That's a great series, dude. I think that's might be the best first round series we got.
I already know your finals.
You don't think that's the best? I love that Mavericks Clippers series.
No, I like that.
That's a fun series, dude. Yeah. Suns, T-Wolves. I have to agree with you on that. I think the T-Wolves are fun. I like Phoenix with Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. I got Phoenix in 6.
It's hard not to like them.
It's really hard not to like them. Nuggets versus the Lakers. I got the Nuggets in 5. I think the Nuggets kind of get back to their form. And then the conference semis, Mavericks, Thunder. I got Why are you smirking over there, dude?
I already know your conference.
Mavericks over the Thunder in 7 games. I think that's a 6 series. Thunder versus Clippers or Mavericks, both I think are great series.
Yeah.
And then Nuggets versus the Suns, another great matchup with some stars. I got Nuggets over the Suns in 6. And then when this is going to be correct so we can clip it, Mavericks over the Nuggets in 7 games. And then so it's Celtics Mavericks finals, and you have Celtics Clippers.
I did call your finals matchup before that.
I did. I also, when I saw someone posted it today, I think it was CBS, did like their panel of 10 or 12 guys, right, of who their final predictions, right? Everyone went Nuggets Celtics. I'm like, let's have some creativity, people. Like, come on. Like, I get it. It's chalk. No one loves chalk. That's not fun. Would it be a sick matchup? 100%. Would it be a great matchup and entertaining? 100%. Grow up, you know what? Like, come on. Like that. No. What are we doing?
I know.
Like, come on. That's like you got to go. Like, have a little like, oh, so why am I watching it then, man? Why am I watching?
A little hair on your chest and pick a different.
Yeah, like Celtics Nuggets. I'm not watching this stuff. If it's like, I'm not saying that won't be great, but like, if it's going chalk, like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's go. Okay. Let's talk Clippers Mavericks.
Yeah.
That's the first round series we disagree on. I got Mavericks in 7. You have Clippers in 7? I forgot.
I have Clippers in 7. Yeah.
6. Okay. 7. Okay. So a great series. Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. Why do you see this series, besides the fact that you have a future on the Clippers, going? Why do you see the series going to the Clippers?
Yeah, they were my preseason pick, so that's why I'm going Clippers all the way too.
Over your team in the conference semis, man. Come on, have some pride.
It makes me feel better because we win. Then I'm like, okay, I got the pick wrong, but we won.
And if you lose, you can potentially win money.
Exactly.
And you always can win money on Underdog Fantasy as well. So use code TSP.
So Maverick, and then you'll explain why you like Maverick so much because that's a little nuts. But Clippers, Mavericks. I mean, think about this. Mavericks' third best scorer, Tim Hardaway. The third best player, third go-to option, Tim Hardaway. Most inconsistent player I think I've ever seen.
Okay. We're just coming at Mavericks players at the moment.
Clippers' third player, James Harden. I mean, Clippers are so deep. That's what I love. They're very top-heavy with superstars, and then they're also so deep. You go down, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, James Harden, Norman Powell could get you buckets, and he could get 20-plus points if he's shooting it well that night. Zubac, very underrated center. Reminds me a little bit of like Valanciunas. Russell Westbrook, I love Russ. Off the bench.
I think
do everything. Will guard your best guard. Obviously, he's not going to guard forward, but great defender. Terrence Mann, young shooter, streaky, plays defense. Bones Highland, very streaky. And then, that's like 7, 8 down the list. You go on the Mavericks, yes, Kyrie Irving, superstar Hall of Fame scorer. Luka Doncic, MVP candidate, but one of the best players in this league, debatably the best player. After that, man, I just don't trust this team. I don't know. Defensively, I don't think they can match up well. They have some good defenders, but you can't guard the whole Clippers team. I think it would just come down to the Clippers beating themselves. So they tend to do that a lot. That's the only problem. But yeah, first thoughts, I just don't trust that. The Mavs team looks the same as it did last year type of thing,
When did we become a Clippers podcast?
I'm
promoting. When did we become a Clippers? Okay, so if you guys have watched this channel over the last couple of years, and Jared knows,
I've been high on the Clippers.
Yeah, somehow you got the bullshit I was spewing the last couple of years about the Clippers. Somehow you got that case of that, and I got off the wagon.
It's because they're deep, though, too.
Look, I like the Clippers. I've been supporting. I've been a team that I think believed in the Clippers over the last couple of years with Kawhi, with Paul George, right? And obviously now they have Harden, they have Russell, right? So I believed in them. Eventually, they keep burning you. And
yeah, but they didn't. At that point, it was just James Harden, not James Harden, Paul George and Kawhi. And the team is kind of shaky.
Okay. I'm not. We both have it going 7, so we both see it as a toss-up. If you have it going 7, right? You had 7, right? Because you said 6,
yeah.
7. So we see it as a toss-up. If you're going 7, you see it as a toss-up. That's just how I view it, right? I don't buy the Clippers, and I'm not going to do it to myself again because I bought them over and over. So could it be more of a fact that they keep burning you, and I just think they're going to keep burning you? Potentially, right? And Clippers fans will know they've burned you over and over and over again. They haven't been able to get it done in consistently in the playoffs. And Dallas has been very up and down. Made a conference finals a couple years ago, right? Or 2 years ago. I think Dallas has the best player in the series. I think Luka Doncic is the best player in the series. I like Kyrie Irving. The depth is an issue, like you noted to. But in the NBA playoffs, you don't go 9-10 deep. That's not a thing when it comes to the NBA playoff. You shrink that bench and you run your starters more than you would do in the regular season, which is maybe one of the reasons we didn't mention Boston's lack of a bench, because that's Boston's biggest weakness, in my opinion, their lack of a bench. And doesn't always hurt you in the postseason, right? Like, obviously, you need guys to step up. Tim Hardaway, Jared said, is a streaky shooter. Average 14 a game. What Tim Hardaway are you going to get? Interesting. I like Derek Lively. I think he's had a very solid rookie season for this team, but it's a 2-man show, right? And they're gonna come at you with Luka Doncic, and they're gonna come out with you with Kyrie Irving, right? And in the playoffs, that tends to work, right? Like, yes, you need guys to show up at other points off the bench, right? Like, obviously, you need Tim Hardaway to make a shot when he needs to make a shot, obviously. But you can say that for the 16 teams that are in the playoffs, right? Everybody needs your third guy, your fourth guy to make a shot, right? Look, I like James Harden. I like
the Bucks. We were talking about like Chris Middleton, the third guy. He needs to make a shot. Who do you trust more to make a shot, Chris Middleton or Tim Hardaway Jr.?
Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
Okay, but now we're coming with the Clippers, which James Harden, not going to buy him in the postseason, because completely collapsed in the postseason, and is also not the same player he once was. And look, like Kawhi Leonard's still battling, and Kawhi Leonard's been battled a little bit of an injury as of late, and that's always hindered them. And like to put all my eggs in that basket, I'm not doing that. Look, am I going bold with Dallas? 100%, right? Like, is Denver probably the best team in this playoffs? Yeah, but I just crapped on whatever network that was for picking Boston and Denver. So I'm not going to do that, right? Because then I just look like an idiot. That's where I'm going, Dallas. I think Luka's enough. Obviously, top 2, top 3 MVP candidate, and I think Kyrie Irving's out to prove people. I think it's a great series. I think you could flip a coin. Honestly, I think this is a great first round matchup. So it's going to be a war. I just think Dallas wins that war down the stretch, because I don't fully buy what the Clippers are bringing to the table.
Yeah, the reason why I have it going 6 is because of the.
I thought you had it 7.
7, sorry. Luka and Kyrie. We're gonna have those games where, like, Jesus, that guy just put up 50 points. The only thing is, what did you say? 7-game series is a long series.
Mm-hmm.
Luka, Kyrie, they're gonna have to be playing both ends of the ball basically the whole game if they want to win. It's gonna get to you in the game 6, game 7. You've been playing all night for the past 6 games. We got to go out again.
One of us is getting a good clip here.
Yeah, so we'll see who it is. But yeah,
you want to quickly touch on your Thunder here? I don't have to give a breakdown.
Yeah,
Thunder, Pelicans, and why do you have them maybe losing in the conference semis?
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
because I do too. I'm
high on the Clippers. But I mean, before the play-in started, I definitely wanted the Pelicans. I thought the Pelicans were the best matchup for the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Zion or not Zion, I think we could, take care of them either way. But this is a young team, inexperienced in the playoffs, and I think this is great progress. I think for the regular season teams like the Nuggets, where I think the full team effort, like you said, in the playoffs, you shrink your roster size or your players that you're playing. We're a very deep team. We have a lot of players off the bench that step up, and we have people for specific roles. Isaiah Joe, 3-point shooting, Dort, defense, SGA, primary scorer. But that's why we were so successful in the regular season. I think in the playoffs, when it becomes a half-court game, we're going to struggle a little bit. And when we play a team that I'm very confident in, like the Clippers or even like a Mavericks, it's going to be hard for us to keep up with them. So hopefully we go all the way. However, I just don't think – I think this is great progress. Young team, got the 1 seed. That's incredible. Let's build off this, get more experience, win a playoff series, and move on. But yeah, you never know. But
Look,
yeah,
you and I both brought up skepticism of the Clippers. That was me, and you brought up about Dallas. That was from you, right? Like, so why can't the Thunder? I have them losing in the conference semis. So do you, but I don't think like.
I'm not saying they're gonna lose.
I have them at 7. I think they're a legit conference finals team. I don't know if they can beat Denver in the conference finals. If that's the matchup. If they get anyone else, I guess Phoenix would be tough to beat in the conference finals.
I think we could,
but I think Denver's probably the only team I was not saying you don't have a shot against Denver.
Finals, they have a center who, best player of the world right now. Like they got all the right pieces they know how to win a championship. Yeah. They have the DNA. So
I like it.
Hey, and honestly, Clippers been very high on the Clippers. However, I do say they beat themselves. If we just play great basketball, Clippers, playing iso ball, and they just don't do what I hope they do, kind of in a way. I think we have a great shot just because we'll play better basketball. We'll play as a team, and we're not just playing, hey, you get this point. We need a point. Go get it. Especially if Kawhi is out, too. So, it's interesting team. Will be very fun to watch this.
Lakers have any shot against Denver? I had Nuggets in 5. What did you have?
Nuggets in 5. But I will say, I'm past years. This is kind of your Clippers spiel. I've been very high on the Lakers. This year, I'm finally saying, I'm hanging it up. Nuggets in 5. I don't know.
Even though I thought Denver was super dominant in the regular season, but that also could be you just won the championship. They know what you have to do.
Once you win a championship, you realize you don't need to be a 1 or 2 seed. I feel like you realize
it's more about matchups and who you can play, right? Like and how do you match up with that team and how are you playing heading into the postseason?
And you realize okay, regular season, if you know you're gonna make the playoffs, you're set in stone. Okay, let's
avoiding the playoffs.
Get ready for the playoffs. Let's not. Let's get a 1 seed. Let's do really well. Let's get ready for the playoffs. So you kind of know. That's why the Celtics have been still getting that 1 seed every year. I feel like not saying you don't want to get a 1 seed. Just saying if the Celtics win this year, next year I bet you they won't be the 1 seed. You
want to be a top 3 seed usually, or top 4 in my opinion. You want to have home court advantage.
Yeah,
in round 1. The Lakers are interesting, right? Like you have LeBron, obviously, no one's sugarcoating that. AD, man, I'm done doing this merry-go-round with him. I really am because it's he shows up, he doesn't, he gets injured, he has a headache. He
didn't show up last. He showed up Pelicans game, but
it's not LeBron's.
You need him to have that series he had against when he won the finals. You need him to dominate.
And they also brought D'Lo, who I like. He's just too inconsistent.
He's been really good from 3 this year.
Yes. I don't know. Look, Davis versus Jokic, he might just be completely neutralized in that series. And if he's completely neutralized in that series, they're done.
Yeah.
LeBron doesn't have enough firepower anymore to do it by himself. To win a whole series? No, I think he can win a game or 2. So
yeah, I think that as of right now, best case scenario is a win. But realistically, I think
6.
They take Nuggets 6 or 7. 7, I think they got a shot, obviously.
Because it's one game with LeBron.
Yeah, but 6, I think this would be. I mean,
I can't buy Anthony Davis in a 7-game series. In a 1-game elimination game, sure, right? He can show up and he can have a great game because he's super talented. I'm not doing that with Anthony Davis. It's just a merry-go-round that you don't want to get on, and you want to get off the merry-go-round after one turn. I just don't know.
Murray's due for a 40-point game, 1 game.
It's just Denver's postseason experience. There's a little animosity between Denver and Lakers as well.
I will say, obviously, this kind of stupid to say because it's obvious, but if the Lakers just don't get blown out and keep it within 10 points throughout the whole game, kind of they could just not get blown out because there are stretches with the Lakers where especially a team like the Nuggets just come in and just 15-0 run. Like they just have to hold those runs. I think they stand a shot once, Jamal Murray, MPJ, they just start going on like a 15-0, 12. You got to limit the runs. Don't let the runs happen.
Quickly here, no T-Wolves. We're bouncing T-Wolves early here. That's what I'm doing. I don't think
the team that surprisingly I would say I wouldn't be shocked.
Is Cat back?
I believe he's coming back. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if he's playing early in the series, but he's definitely checked that. But I believe he's back surprisingly. I saw it
let's see. I clicked images when I Googled. I think he's back.
Yeah.
But, I think he's back.
Okay, yeah. But like Suns, similar to the Lakers, man. I mean, like you're like, hey, if Devin Booker and Kevin Durant just like play well, like what they're supposed to play, they'll win. But it's never that easy with these types of
never
teams,
that easy.
So
then they're built for this. Like they're built for the postseason. They're not built for the regular season with Devin Booker, with Bradley Beal, and obviously with Kevin Durant. Like, they have the firepower. I just don't know if Minnesota has enough postseason experience to kind of come back at them. But look, the Suns have been so inconsistent this year. I'm not going to go over the moon for Phoenix here. Like I think they're good. I think they're talented. I think they take care of business against T-Wolves, but then they probably run in Denver in conference semis, which is a really fun matchup too. We'll see how that goes.
I mean, one thing, like, what do you mean about the experience?
With who?
Like T-Wolves. Because I mean, Gobert was on the Jazz. Towns has been in the playoffs.
I just don't like coming with the guy. Like you're going up against Devin Booker, who's been to an NBA Finals. You're going up to Kevin Durant, who's won a couple championships, right? Like you're going up against those type of players that know exactly what it takes in the moment. Like Cat postseason not really having any success. No Anthony Davis, and I guess Rudy Gobert has been fine in the playoffs, right? Like I think there's a difference of just being in the playoffs and then having legit success in the playoffs. And both Devin Booker and Kevin Durant have had it. I don't buy Phoenix that much. I just think I don't know if Minnesota has. I think they're a year away.
Minnesota,
even though they have a veteran team, kind of
I think
a little and Gobert.
Yeah, this is their shot. Like this.
They're in a
weird team that they built for this moment. It's not like they weren't ready for this moment, type of thing, which is kind of interesting. Like,
yeah. Oh, you were gonna say something?
No.
Conference finals. Let's go over it quickly here. You have Clippers over the Nuggets. I have Mavericks over the Nuggets. So why do we see both Denver getting bounced, do you think?
So honestly, more so like kind of like what you said, don't want to be chalk. Part of that too.
That's true as well.
Not because Nuggets can certainly win. I wouldn't count them out. That's why I also have to go in the 7. But hey, I just think this is there's another team. I don't know. I just feel like the Nuggets have a target on their back. Obviously, they just won a finals. And it's mostly honestly just like I don't want to see the Nuggets in the finals.
I think it'll be a cool series, but
it'd be a cool series, but it's just like the same thing we watched last year, type of thing. So I also think the Clippers have the power, the star power. They have the roster. They have the defense to do it. Will they do it? That's the question. Nuggets. It's hard to bet against the Nuggets. You've seen them year in, year out, just playing great basketball in the playoffs. So it's hard. Like they may not have the names the Clippers do, but in the playoffs, names don't really matter a ton anymore,
Yeah. It's more for the fact that I don't want to be as chalk like I just ripped 10-15 minutes ago. I think Denver has the firepower. I like Dallas. We're both going out on a limb here. It's tough. I think Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving have enough firepower to go with Jokic, and it's just maybe not Denver's year. It just could be one of those type of series. I don't see them getting beat. I guess they could get beat by Phoenix in the conference semis. But Denver doesn't have a horrible path. Like I'm looking at it now, like it's like
it's kind of like if you look from the outside, you're like, oh, they have to play the Lakers, they have to play LeBron James, and they have to play Kevin Durant. Like
both of those teams have so much questions.
But yeah, the team itself,
foundation. If Phoenix plays to their top level, they can beat Denver 100% because You have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal.
If they play to their top level, it's just going to be, can you score more than us?
But I haven't seen this at all this year. So can I really be like bank on it in the postseason?
They can play like that if they
are they like the Nets?
Yeah,
with Harden, with Kyrie, and Durant, are we just like, well, they'll click in the postseason? Like, well,
my thing. I want the Suns. They don't have a point guard, man, and that Phoenix count that off. That hurts.
They have no guy that sets the table.
No.
They have no table setter, and I think that hurts them, and I think that would hurt them against Denver a ton. I like Dallas over Denver, but I know a lot of people like Denver. They're their chalk pick. They have Jokic, the best player in basketball at the moment. But yeah, we didn't give great responses there, but that's just because we want to change up. Jared, quickly here, because people have been here for 50 minutes, and if they're still watching, we appreciate it. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. What's your finals? Just tell me what you got. Because obviously, guys, we'll be doing an NBA Finals preview when the NBA Finals gets.
Celtics Clips.
Yeah, I know that. Who do you got?
Oh, okay. Clippers and 7. If anyone was shocked that I was going to pick
obviously, mine was Celtics Mavericks. I have Celtics over the Mavericks in 6 games. I think Boston finally gets it done.
Yeah, they're due, man. They've been due.
So we'll see. Anything else you got? And we didn't even put the NBA Finals banner up. But because we've been talking for 15 minutes, your brain turns into absolute mush. Okay, guys, it's going to be a great time. NBA playoffs are great. NFL draft is right around the corner. Hopefully, we talked about everything that we could have in the hour that StreamYard gives us. We appreciate everyone that has listened. We'll be back with an NBA content-wise. We'll be back with an NBA Finals preview that will give you a breakdown like we did last year. Obviously, it was Denver. Miami will give you a little bit more in-depth breakdown of the two teams. Jared, where can everyone find us social media-wise? We got a lot coming out. We got NFL draft coming out. We have NBA stuff coming out throughout the postseason. That's not just podcasts. And obviously some golf stuff right around the corner as well. So where can everyone find us there?
Hey guys, we are talking on social media at Talking Sports PD, X, Instagram, and TikTok. Like Pete mentioned, not going to list it again. Ton of content coming out. So please follow us. Keep up to date. And then you want to do the underdog?
Yeah, I'll do underdog. Guys, it's the perfect time to get on Underdog Fantasy NBA playoffs. There's daily pick'ems. You can do over guys with points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. You can put guys head to head. Oh, Clippers Mavericks series. Luka Doncic score more than Kawhi. Hammer Luka Doncic. You think Kawhi's going to score more? Hammer Kawhi. You can do a lot of fun things with Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you guys use code TSB for a 100% deposit match up to $100. Click the link in the bio or the description, or just type in Underdog Fantasy on the website or on Google or the App Store. Okay, we'll be right back in a couple of days with our full first round NFL mock draft. One of the more fun, I think, segments we get to do. Jared gets the first pick or whatever. I get the first pick, and we just go back and forth, and we turn into NFL GMs. So you guys don't want to miss that if you love some NFL draft. That is going to do it for us. If you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we appreciate it. And if you're on YouTube, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. This was the NBA playoffs preview, and thank you.